America great again.
In a recent presidential speech, President Donald Trump revealed some copywriting secrets, some copywriting skills that anyone can use to persuade. Doesn't matter if you love or hate the guy, or if you just think he's straight up lukewarm. If you're a marketer or a copywriter and you want more people to take action, pay close attention because he pulls back some curtains on some real secrets. So let's check this out.
If we hadn't reversed the failed economic policies of the previous administration, the world would not now be witnessing this great economic success.
The first thing he does, he says this. He says, if we haven't reversed the failed economic policies of the previous administration, he is pointing fingers at somebody else. So what is he doing? He is creating an enemy. He's essentially telling all the people of America that it's not their fault that they've been struggling or doing whatever. They have created an enemy. One of the best ways to get people to rally to your cause is create a common enemy, and everybody just throws rocks at them. And he does it brilliantly. And he says it in just that one sentence. If we hadn't reversed the failed economic policies of the previous administration, then he goes on to say, we would not be experiencing this great economic success. And it's all the fault of the common enemy. So in your copywriting, create an enemy and get all the people together and you can throw rocks at each other. It's always a great way to get people on your side and with your movement. So number 2, check this out.
One of the biggest promises I made to the American people was to replace the disastrous NAFTA trade deal. Following NAFTA's adoption, our nation lost 1 in 4 manufacturing jobs. Many politicians came and went pledging to change or replace NAFTA, only to do so, and then absolutely nothing happened. But unlike so many who came before me, I keep my promises. We did our job.
He proves it with specifics, something so important in all of your copy. He says this, he says, one of the biggest promises I made was to replace the NAFTA trade deal. All right, that was one of the promises. And for a lot of people, they might go, that's not really that important. You may not even know what the NAFTA trade deal is. But then what does he say? He makes it important. He makes it even emotional for you because he proves it with specifics. He says, when we approved that, we lost 1 in 4 manufacturing jobs. And now all of a sudden you're thinking like, oh man, people are stealing my job. Now it becomes important to you. You can see it. And he proved it with specifics. He proved that it was important. And if you notice something else, this isn't so much proof with specifics, but if you caught that next sentence, he said,
many politicians came and went pledging to change or replace NAFTA, only to do so, and then absolutely nothing happened. But unlike so many who came before me, I keep my promises. We did our job.
He's just showing you that he's the man that gets things done. No one else can do it. Politicians came, they went, all this stuff happened, but the only person that could do it was him. So that's another form of proof, not necessarily proof with specifics like lost 1 in 4 manufacturing jobs, but proof that all these other people tried and failed, yet he's the man. So another little subconscious thing that he uses in his speeches to get people to rally behind him. And again, you may hate the dude, you may love the dude, doesn't really matter to me. The important part is I want to show you what presidential, like people like Donald Trump, presidential candidates, entrepreneurs, famous people, whatever, people that can create mass movement, create mass action, the things that they use in their copy to get it done so you can use it with yours. So make sure you prove things with specifics and prove it without a reasonable doubt, like no doubt whatsoever. All right? Now take a look at this next thing.
But Maduro's grip on tyranny will be smashed and broken.
What did he do there? Did you catch that language? He said, well, before I say it, we'll see if you caught it. When you're writing, when you're speaking, video sales letters, ads, videos, whatever, make it visual. If you caught the words he used, well, I'm going to tell you the words in just a second. But let me tell you this. The average adult in the United States reads between a 6th and 8th grade reading level. You wouldn't think it's that low, I guess. Not that great, right? Between 6th and 8th grade. So if you use big words that people can't understand, you've went past their education level. Let's be honest, right? You've made them, not only did they not understand it, but you've made them feel inferior, you've made them feel stupid, and if somebody feels stupid and inferior and doesn't know what the hell you're talking about, then they're not going to take any action, right? So we have to keep it simple. And if you notice the words, here they are. He used words like grip and smash. I can visualize grip and I can visualize smash. I mean, honestly, when you use words like smash, even a child can understand it. And they can even relate it to something they know, something that they have seen or they can see, right? So when you're writing, make sure you keep it simple. It's almost impossible to underwrite somebody, but it's very easy to overwrite, right over someone's head. So make sure you keep it simple in all of your language. All right, let's keep going.
And just weeks ago, for the first time since President Truman established the Air Force, more than 70 years earlier, we created a brand new branch of the United States Armed Forces. It's called the Space Force.
So notice what he did there. He did something very, very cool. I don't know if you've caught it or maybe you've never even heard this. This was the first time I heard it when I heard this State of the Union address in February. And he did this. He made it new. But watch how he builds up to this making it new part. This is cool. First, he built it up to be something great. It's been 70 years is what he said in that sentence, if you've caught it. And then he related it to something even better. He said, they created the Air Force. It's been 70 years. But then what did he do? He tied it to an authoritative, credible person, President Truman. President Truman created the Air Force. It's been 70 years. Now, what did we do? We created, and then he drops the new thing, the Space Force. Notice, if he just came out and been like, yo, we created the Space Force, we'd just be like, whatever. But he built this whole thing up to this new thing. And notice the psychology behind this. He said, it's President Truman created the Air Force. We see the Air Force as being something important. President Truman was a pretty good president. Well, I'm sure people will agree and disagree, but he created the Air Force. The president did it. He did something awesome, right? We're already thinking that. It's been 70 years. Oh man, no one's done anything this cool in 70 years. This has got to be something awesome. And then what does he do? He goes, we've created the Space Force. So now we've automatically thinking like, okay, Truman created something awesome called the Air Force. It's been 70 years. And now they have this new thing called the Space Force. It's got to be just as awesome and just as good. So drop something new. Once you get things new, you can bypass the logical brain, get people all lathered up and emotional because everybody loves new stuff. Get the dopamine drip going, and you're going to have people engaged in your copy. They're going to want to buy your thing or opt into your thing or whatever. They're going to want to take action because that's what new stuff makes us do. It's that awesome drug in our head called dopamine, and we just crave new things. But instead of just jumping out and saying, hey, buy my new thing, do this cool build-up. Relate it to something awesome. Make it sound like a long time since something awesome has happened. Relate your awesome thing to somebody who's authoritative and credible, and then drop the new thing, and you're going to work them up into a frenzy. So I hope you enjoyed this little copy lesson from President Trump's presidential speech just recently in February. If you dig my copy stuff, you want to check out more or see exactly how you can learn from me in copywriting. In fact, I'll teach you everything I know about copywriting. You can just head over to copyskills.com/trial. And you can try out all my products. You can actually have access to every one of my copywriting courses for free if you want them. Just head over to copyskills.com/trial. All right, we will see you on the next video. So long.